Hello and welcome to the second episode of LOTv's Let's Talk, the Round Table. Now today we're looking at the issues I should say, around Intervarsity. Now for those of you who don't know, Intervarsity is an event where 4 universities, the top 4 supposedly, in the Eastern Cape get together in a sporting extravaganza that sees some of the best talent in rugby, cricket. Do we have a cricket field? Cricket. So tennis, rowing, anything which is supposed to highlight young people who are still active, and obviously some trying to aim for professional sporting careers in the future. But what do you not know about Intervarsity? What's beneath? What goes on in the night times? And I'm joined by guests who are not afraid to share their opinions. Let's watch. So today we're joined by 2 new guests. We have Utingo Mtombeni, a fellow journalist, and Jake, who, what shall we say, is a dramatist and theatre maker. Guys, how are you feeling?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Look, Friday is always a stressful day. People don't know, y'all look this good, but there were deadlines, there were lecturers on your back.
But we met them, so it's fine.
You handled your life.
Definitely have to meet them.
Okay, there isn't a 5 p.m. that you were stressing about?
Yesterday. Today's a bit chill though.
Okay.
Yeah, the Fridays are always actually pretty chill then.
Yeah.
So it's one of 2 things, you're smart or you're lying.
I kind of feel like we have the same subjects, so...
Okay, so you know me. You
yeah.
know me. Jake, are you good?
No, I'm good.
I think the drama department handled.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Now guys, you know that we're talking about Intervarsity.
Yeah.
First of all, how much do you know about the sporting event?
I mean, I got here last year and it was cancelled, so... I mean, I'd heard a lot about it from my older friends, but as far as I'm concerned, it's just a sporting event, massive here at Rhodes. And NNMU comes, Rhodes is involved, some Vusu, yeah.
And the 4th one is 40.
Yeah, so all those come together, and as you said, those are the popular universities. And yeah, it's just a great time for the university. You sort of like get to party and have fun and watch games and so forth, yeah.
I feel like that's very awkward for me, like
Why?
coming into like Rhodes University this year and like...
Okay, you're a first year?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And I'm hearing about Intervarsity when thinking actually this is a sporting event. When actually I never knew it was a sporting event. I thought it was just like a big drunk
party.
drunk fest everywhere in universities.
Okay.
So it's quite strange that it's an actual sporting event.
Okay, well Jake, now you've taken us there from the bat. Contentions about what Intervarsity really is. Guys, are we doing sport or are we doing drinking?
No, you guys are drinking. Johnny Walker's here. Everyone's here.
Okay,
Shout
SAB came through.
No, shut up. Shout out to them.
Okay, and how does it make you feel as a first year, as a university student, as a black male?
I mean, you know what? It makes me kind of... I feel like this university has this massive... Well, obviously, it's got a massive drinking culture. And
Okay.
I mean, this just kind of like feels it. It doesn't harm really. I feel like all we doing here is drinking and smoking and, you know...
Okay, but Tingo, is it fair? Like some people, I know when I'm at UCT and my friends and I are joking and talking, they'll be like, so when you're going back to the drinking uni,
Yeah.
is it fair, Tingo? Are we really the worst when it comes to the deals and contracts and tenders we get for big events where SAB is coming through and funding or promoting their alcohol?
Okay, well, obviously it's just a blanket statement. I think the reason why people think that there's a huge drinking culture here at Rhodes is because it's a small university. Everyone's going to know what we're going to do,
Okay.
and so forth. I went to UCT not so long ago. It's worse. And one of my friends came and she's like, oh no, you guys drink so much, and I didn't think it was true. I think she was just saying it because she had already known we had a drinking culture.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just crazy that people drink so much for a sporting event. How much sports is actually being watched is my question.
But I feel like I feel kind of differently, like knowing about people that are actually down there by UCT and hearing their opinions on how we drink here.
Yeah. You think we deserve it?
I think we do deserve it. I do. I definitely think we deserve it. And you know why? And it's not because of it's the actual university, but because of, as you said, it's such a small space. It's a small environment. So Grahamstown basically is like literally nothing but Prime, Rampart, and all these. Fryers. Shout out to Fryers. Shout out.
Triple S.
Yeah.
Okay.
And triple S.
And Triple S. Don't forget. Now, when you guys think of, let's stay away from the alcohol, but go back to the sport. So it's supposed to be the 4 best universities in the Eastern Cape. We're talking Sisulu University from Mthatha, my hometown, shout out. We're talking about, and I have to say the full word, Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University in PE. We're talking about Fort Hare, and then Rhodes. Is it unfair to the smaller institutions in the province? Is it the 4 best?
I actually don't know what the criteria is.
Okay.
I mean, I know that we're pretty bad at sports, so I don't know how we landed
Timber,
up
you can't say that.
I'm going to be dead honest. We're very bad at sports.
Is it a case of you don't watch enough so you don't know?
No. I can, in terms of arts, maybe I can say that we're good. Mm-hmm. But on the sports plane, we're not so good. I know that we're good at rowing.
Okay.
The rest,
hockey,
maybe a little bit, but that's as far as it goes, and that's probably why people drink instead of watch sports at these events, because we suck.
Jake, what are you feeling? Because we have to be honest, guys. When our guests are here, and the guests from the 3 universities are here visiting, when we're hosting, because remember it can move around this event. We just happen to be hosting in 2015. There isn't a sense of unity. Sure, we're competing, but there's animosity. There's been an accusation of Rhodes students being high class or uppity, of black students in the Rhodes University space being the coconut, the sellouts, not authentic. We can't even speak African languages. What do you make of that? Do we deserve that?
Rhodes as a university? No. And the reason why I say no is because there are many interpretations this university can have. And definitely there are different individuals that come from different locations here.
Okay.
Like you from Mthatha, I'm from Johannesburg. I mean, we're from two completely different places, which have 2 completely different influences on us.
Yeah.
But you know, that statement is so, I don't know.
Singer?
There's truth in it. I mean, a lot of stereotypes are there because there's some truth, but I'm not going to generalize and say all stereotypes are true.
Okay.
This one I'll take and say it's true. And the reason why I say that is because at the other institutions, there aren't as many white people.
Okay.
At Rhodes, I would say we have the largest amount in comparison to the other universities. A lot of people that come here come from very good schools. I mean, people might think I'm a coconut myself because I went to a private school and so forth, but that doesn't mean I'm not claiming my blackness.
Yeah.
It just means that there are certain circumstances I couldn't control growing up.
Okay.
Doesn't take away from my blackness. I think I just speak English this way, but if you hear me speaking Zulu, you'll realize that I am a Zulu person.
Yeah.
And as a result, the Rhodes sort of has that coconut white culture. It's there, it's evident.
Okay. So back to the issue of the drinking and alcohol culture and then white culture. Guys, is there such a thing as whiteness or white culture?
Definitely. And I think we also
and how do we define it? Okay, so you say yes and we ascribe to it.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it first?
I think we can, and we've had this conversation before about ascribing and subscribing to a certain thing. And I think we definitely ascribe to it by the way we dress, the way we talk.
Jake, but what is it?
It's a difficult thing because it morphs. It's a morphing culture. It changes. The way you've grown up, the way you've learned to be you, and the way you present yourself in certain environments, has certain elements of whiteness. Just as we are sitting here, this is a white-ish environment.
White-ish?
Yeah, it's a white-ish environment.
Okay.
If we put it in that term.
Tinga, what is it?
Okay, whiteness for me is a mentality. It's got nothing to do with skin color. It just so happens that a lot of people who have whiteness in them have a white skin color.
Okay.
I hope I'm not contradicting myself there. But it made sense in my mind.
Okay.
And I could easily fall under the bracket of whiteness, as you said. We're chilling in a place that white people kind of built up. We're eating white people's food and stuff like that. But it's a mentality that is incredibly destructive, I think.
Okay.
It places you on a pedestal that you placed yourself on. No one ever was like, okay, you deserve it. No.
Okay.
It's very dangerous because I'm pretty sure also Rhodes might think that we're better than the other schools regardless of the fact that we suck at sports, they're just like, you know, whatever, we're still the best.
Okay.
You know, and we don't. The problem is that we don't even question our privilege.
Okay.
We just like, I have it. Anyone who is far less off doesn't matter. You know. So yeah, whiteness is very destructive. It's mentality.
Mentality.
Yeah.
Now, Jake,
Yeah.
can we marry whiteness or white culture to white privilege? Because this is going to tie back to the event Intervarsity
Can we marry whiteness
and white culture
and
to
white culture?
white privilege.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Because like it's kind of like they've been brought up together. I mean, there's a certain culture. Like for us being here right now, let's use this as an example. I'm going to use this as an
Okay.
example.
The space needed
This
now.
space that
Okay.
we're in right now.
By the way,
Where
it
it
used
was
to be a
built.
prison.
That's where I was going to. This
prison.
is where it was built. Now that we have the opportunity to be here and actually sit here and have coffee, while back then we have no clue about what was actually going on in this prison, and that for me may be a marriage between whiteness and white privilege, because you know.
Okay, Tingo, it might sound silly, but do you have to be white to enjoy white privilege?
No.
No?
No.
Tingo?
I honestly, I'm going to say yes to that.
Okay.
By virtue of being white,
Okay.
there are things that, you know, and a lot of people will say, yeah, I didn't choose to be white. I also didn't choose to be black. You know, I'd have to, any other day, when I say black privilege, which I don't think exists, any
Okay.
other day, I could be someone who is shot because of my skin color.
Okay.
White privilege means that any other day you could become a millionaire because of your skin color. You know, those are just privileges. And it's like whiteness and white privilege are like this antagonistic symbiosis where
Okay.
a lot of white people don't want to be attached to it, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
You have that privilege, and unfortunately, it's married. Like, you can't separate the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, going back to Intervarsity, we know that a very big thing for this event is purple party, or the spirit of purple. Terms like Gees are thrown around, and Gees, to the people that are not familiar, is the spirit. Okay, so originally in Afrikaans it's the spirit, it's gusto, but we align it with the, what I call the McBrown kind of approach to things. Now, Intervarsity, does it feed into white privilege? Are those two married? Because people are wearing overalls, which you have a problem with.
Yeah.
People are painting themselves purple. There's a very different air of being nonchalant and not caring and going with the flow. But I mean, how much of that feeds back into, like I say, white privilege? Those overalls, Ting, I'll start with you while Jay thinks about that, they mean something.
They definitely do. I mean, to me, when I think of overalls, I think of people who work.
Okay.
Either farmers or people who, you know,
Miners.
and so forth. That's where the origins of overalls are. And for you to appropriate something and use it to drink and so forth, you're forgetting the real struggles that the people who actually wore them have.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes, you know, it's appropriate to appropriate things,
Okay.
but you have to understand how and why you're doing those things. I mean, the same thing with a lot of white people appropriating black people's culture. I find it terribly problematic because you find that it's okay to objectify black people, but it's not okay to be black. That's the problem I have. So it's okay to wear overalls, but it's not okay to be a farmer or a worker.
Or to
you know,
invest in labor.
exactly.
Jake?
I definitely agree with that.
Okay.
It's all about understanding and knowing what you're doing and where that thing comes from, where an overall comes from. And this is not even just an overall issue, but there are hair issues, there are skin and color and identity issues that we need to actually look at and we need to be very aware of. And I think Intervarsity doesn't allow us to do that, and it doesn't allow us the privilege to actually be like, okay, cool, we've got a university and we've got a space to talk about these things, but instead we're going to talk about drinking and sports and you know, things that don't matter. You know.
Now guys, to wrap it up, last question. Are there events, these could be the events that you've seen online or as you guys have traveled or where you grew up, are there events that could not necessarily replace Intervarsity, but accompany Intervarsity as a way of bringing real genuine togetherness or more unity, more understanding, more conversation? Are there events like that? Do they exist, or do we have to now sit around round tables and talk about those?
I'm gonna be dead honest. There's
nothing.
Thus far, there's nothing.
There's nothing. I mean, it's kind of funny because it's not even just this intervarsity thing, but I mean, really, we had a great time this year where we were talking about the name change, and there was actual proper conversation and proper tears and proper understanding and watching how people react to certain things. That was it.
But the thing is, what I'm trying to say, it doesn't have to be sport, okay? So intervarsity sporting events. What if we had our own provincial or Eastern Cape National Arts Festival type of coming together?
Okay, but then that's problematic once again. National Arts Festival already is, I kind of feel that it caters to a white, middle class, upwards,
old people.
Old people.
But like,
so you think if the 4 universities came together in the sake of art or in the sake of music, we wouldn't have...
It's still going to be that separation.
Definitely,
and
because it's not about us coming for music or it's coming for art sport. Or coming for sport. It's that undertone, it's that subtext of us actually having a massive problem that we're not talking about.
We're just drinking about it.
Drinking
around it.
We use these things like these sporting events and these arts events to say, okay,
to escape from the truth.
Yeah, there's no actual conversations that are actually happening.
Yeah, and that we need to get to the root cause. We need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that can only happen through talking, but with healthy dialogue. I mean, it can easily turn into like a boxing match.
But do you know what's wrong with emotion and tears?
Oh no, we need emotions.
Where is that?
It's understanding though, Jake. If I start to cry now because mama I sent in my kitchen for free and was treated like a slave, and you feel nothing and you happen to be white, I'm not going to be okay. I'm going to get angry.
Yeah.
If you tell me, but it wasn't my fault, I wasn't there, I'm going to get defensive. And then
we need those conversations. We need to get angry. We're living in such a time where we can become so apathetic about what's happening, and we just like watch, okay, that's the problem. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. And it's funny. It's funny because it's just going to be black people that are going to be talking about it. And I'm going to like blanket it out because that's what it is. It's going to be black people that are angry about it. And to be honest,
at this stage we are more than entitled as people to get angry at these situations. But I also feel that we shouldn't be stereotyped as they just get angry every single time we talk to them. Sorry,
nice accent.
They are stereotyping again, but that seems to be the pattern. Is that no, you can't talk to these people about these problems. And we're asking you guys, please, can you care for us? Please, can you treat us like human beings? Sorry that I'm a few shades darker, but I am human. And it's so sad that something so petty, skin color, results in so many problematic aspects in every single spectrum of life. For me, I can never understand it. And this is the reality we live.
Definitely, and I think we should also stop looking at like the now, and we should also look at the past. The past is such an important thing, and our history is important for us to know about and for us to learn about. So once we start understanding then and the past and what has happened, then we can understand and we can find a way forward.
Exactly.
For now.
Yeah. And I'm never going to get tired of talking about this. And I hate it when people are like, oh, we've been talking about this, like this is boring.
21 years later, 22 years later.
It's been happening. I am still angry at slavery. So how the hell am I going to forget about apartheid? These conversations need to be sparked, and you're going to hear about it. Because then you're going to realize the severity of these situations and how they actually are affecting black bodies.
Yeah.
And you need to be complicit, just as I am complicit as a human being.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're going to be able to solve problems and eradicate whiteness or this white privilege and white superiority that exists in our institution.
And it's not like an attack on white people. It's not like, we are coming for you.
Of course.
We also perpetuate
it. We definitely. But this is a conversation that we need to have, that whiteness has become not about race. It's this symbol. It's a massive symbol. So we need to get rid of that symbol. And how do we get rid of it?
A good question to end it off on. How do we get rid of it? Or just how? Right? How? Guys, thank you so much for joining me. You've been great, by the way. I can see that you're feeling. And it's always because if you don't feel, you're never really gonna act, are you?
Yeah.
And that's it. another one bites the dust on the round table. Thank you.
Yeah.
And there you have it, episode 2 done and dusted. What does Intervarsity mean to you? What do events that are supposed to bring people together but have these underlying divisions really mean when it comes to the impact in your life and your influence on how you live that life in the days that come after what we feel? Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Episode 3 is coming to you very soon. And as I always say, you have to dare to think, you have to have the courage to feel, and of course, strive to be. Anima McBrown, signing out.